Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Amy, and I'm the local history officer here at Gympie Regional Libraries. Thank you for joining me today for this presentation on the history of mining in the Gympie region. I would like to acknowledge the Cubby Cubby and Gubby Gubby peoples as the traditional owners of land on which this event is taking place. I would also like to acknowledge the Bachelor peoples, the traditional owners of country in the northeast of the Gympie region, and the Waka Waka, the traditional owners of country in the west of the Gympie region. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and elders from other communities who might be joining us today. In this presentation, I will discuss the different mining eras in Gympie's history and the mining tools used. Mining eras. Alluvial mining. Between 1867 and 1868, prospectors used shovels and picks to loosen the ground around creeks and gullies before using gold pans and cradles to wash the dirt away from the gold. This form of mining was known as alluvial mining. Miners in the Gympie region needed to apply for a miner's right, which allowed them to mine a particular area which was marked out by pegs. The miner's right cost 10 shillings per year. These areas were known as claims, and miners were required to work the area within 48 hours of it being pegged out. If the claim was not worked for over 3 days or the claim had been abandoned, then the original miner who purchased the right would risk forfeiting their claim to other miners. This caused many issues as claims that were temporarily unmanned were jumped by other miners hoping to get lucky. You can see just how many mining leases there were in the Gympie Township from this map from 1904. Shallow reefing. Towards the end of 1868, alluvial mining ended and so began the era of shallow reefing. This involved firstly locating a gold-bearing reef, then digging underground to remove quartz ore. This ore was then crushed to extract the gold from within. Robert and Alexander Pollock, along with Frank Lawrence, found the first recorded reef at the top of Sailor's Gully. This reef was named the Lady Mary. Following this, many more reefs went on to be discovered in and around where James Nash first discovered gold and also at 1 Mile. To remove the quartz ore from underground, mine shafts were dug out. Some shafts were built using timber, but some were not. Miners would enter these mine shafts via makeshift ladders they had built. They originally used gunpowder to blast the rock away, but in later years they used dynamite as it became available. To assist with this type of mining, many mechanisms were used to make extracting the ore easier. Windlasses were made of wood and relied on the muscle power of the man operating it. A rope attached to the bucket was wound around the trunk as the bucket was raised. A whim was a mechanism which relied on horsepower. The horse would walk around in a circular motion which would drive a capstan or circular drum. Ropes attached to the drum raised the bucket in the shaft by running over a pulley. Whims could have 1 or 2 drums and were extensively used in Gympie. The Deep Reefing Era. The deep reefing era between 1875 and 1924 saw even more advanced hard rock underground mining. During this era, miners increased the depths of their mine shafts to up to 5,000 feet. The advancement of technology, namely steam-powered machinery, became popular. This included steam-powered winding engines, which allowed people to mine at greater depths. The steam winding engine pictured here was manufactured by Walkers Limited and was used in the Oriental Consols Mining Company in the 1900s. This featured a pair of 20-inch cylinders with a 42-inch stroke and a pair of 8-foot drums. More significant mining infrastructure, such as poppet heads, boiler sheds, chimneys, blacksmith shops, and mine managers' offices, started coming to Gympie around this time too. Gympie was also home to unique square brick chimneys, which were of Welsh design. Later on, we also saw the construction of round chimneys of Cornish design. The Interlude era. By 1925, mining in Gympie slowed down as a large portion of the gold just below the surface had been found, and so it became costly to mine at even greater depths. During this time, other industries such as dairy, beef cattle, farming, and timber started to thrive. Miners entered into these new industries and the mines were shut down. Most of the surface infrastructure was demolished and the land was sold off for other purposes. Whilst there were a few small scale gold discoveries during this time, the most profitable ventures came from people who treated the tailings with cyanide. The modern revival era. Between 1980 and 2008, the El Dorado Gold Mining Company was the only company in Gympie that decided to start mining again. They started off by drilling into known ore locations. It wasn't until 1988, however, that they started working in the west of Scotland mine shaft. As time passed, more and more pre-existing mine shafts were explored. Partner companies over the years helped to support this venture. These companies included Freeport of Australia Incorporated, DevEx Limited, which was later rebranded as Gympie Gold Limited, BHP, Newcrest, Gold Farm Proprietary Limited, and Buka Gold. It was only in 2004, though, 24 years later, that Gympie Gold Limited had been forced into receivership. High operating costs started to outweigh the amount of gold that the mines produced. Buka Gold Limited then took over in 2005, but insisted they would only continue exploration if the mine shafts were profitable. Unfortunately for them, the mine did not turn over a profit, which resulted in staff cutbacks and eventually the closure of the mine altogether in 2008. So between the years of 1980 and 2008, a total of 375,000 ounces of gold, or approximately 10,631 kilograms of gold, was excavated. Assuming the gold was sold for an average rate of $550 per ounce, this means the total value of the gold excavated would have been close to $200 million. Here is a quick look into a few of Gympie's gold mines. These photos are from the North Phoenix mines in Gympie. The Phoenix mine sites were located on Red Hill Road, near where the Phoenix Hotel is today. Aptly named, the Phoenix Hotel took its name from the mine site which it was located on. The image on the left shows mine workers at the number 1 North Phoenix mine in 1880. The photograph on the right-hand side shows a view of Red Hill Road with the Phoenix Mine poppet head showing in the top centre of the image. Here are some photographs from the South Great Eastern Mines in Gympie. The photograph on the left is a postcard with different images of the number 1 South Great Eastern Mine. The photograph on the right shows the number 2 South Great Eastern Mine shaft. Pictured here are some photographs from the Scottish mines in Gympie. Both photographs show different views of the mining infrastructure at the Scottish mine around 1897. The Scottish mines were located on Brisbane Road near the present-day Gympie Gold Mining Museum. Shown here are some images of the Columbia Smithfield mines in Gympie. The image on the left is a postcard showing different views of the Columbia Smithfield mine. The photograph on the right shows workers standing next to a winze at the Columbia Smithfield gold mine. This mine was located near 1 Mile Ovals, near Brisbane Road. Did you know we also have a local history blog called Gympie Regional Memories? New content is added every month about all things local history, so please feel free to check it out. Thank you so much for joining me for this presentation today on the history of mining in Gympie. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope you have a lovely day.